What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Another edition, Holy Try Football Podcast. It's me, AY, coming to you from the beautiful state capital, the blue state, the Commonwealth, Pennsylvania. To my west, D-Berg, what's up?
Texas. Well, Texas is not up. Texas is very much down. But
Texas is down. Stock down.
Yes.
Texas A&M stock up, basketball-wise. Buzz with the 22-0 run to open up the second half against Houston HBAP.
Intense.
Earlier this afternoon.
Everything's bigger. There's a lot going on there.
Magnums in Texas. Everything bigger there.
Yeah.
Briefing to come. Can, to my east, what's up?
Enjoying the cool weather this week, but it's steadily climbing upward. 70 degrees tomorrow. What the hell is this? I'll tell you what, I can't complain. I'll be walking around. I've got an event tomorrow, so the nice weather will be welcomed. But do hope winter comes soon.
To quote Roth, among others, this planet is so effed.
Hopefully I'll be dead by the time it's fully.
So what, Tuesday or Monday, something like that?
Hopefully.
When it was 40 degrees Monday, 35 degrees?
Oh, I thought he was referring to global warming.
I think just climate change in general.
Hopefully when the planet is fully effed, that'll be our grandchildren's problem. Not mine.
It's not our problem, right?
Not mine.
It's certainly,
pass the buck.
Certainly the general consensus, it seems.
Passing the buck.
Speaking of weather, there is, I believe, the longest lunar eclipse in 600 years this weekend.
Great fact.
Well, the
Thursday night into Friday.
The wolves will be howling.
If you're up late at night, going for that midnight snack, take a look outside. Pretty cool.
I like it.
That is when the Earth blocks the light onto the moon. Looks pretty cool. We'll see it. Excited for it. I'll take a peek. News and notes for this week. Reminder, Texas. They lost. Bad. We'll get to that because we are previewing their game this week. I thought it'd be fitting to put them in there. So we'll put them in. And we need one more game.
You put Kansas in.
Did not.
Kansas State made it.
Yeah, we'll let Kansas just ride off in the sunset and bask in it. We'll start with the playoff rankings. BARDA.
BARDA doing good things.
They set the tone last week with Michigan State. I get it'll play itself out, but still, it's just not a good look. And what he said, I didn't see it live. I didn't watch it, but I went back and saw some clips. And RE Michigan State's paraphrasing, he mentioned, aside from the head-to-head, which plays a part, the statistical categories, Michigan leads most of them.
So putting it aside, putting watching aside. That is akin to me saying putting aside the actual games and just go by recruiting and sell. That's the most entertaining part.
It immediately reminded me of the, I guess joke, even though it's not very funny, but kind of is. When I was in college, I remember a trivia team. The one team was, other than that, did you have fun at the parade, Mrs. Kennedy? That's kind of what it reminded me of. It's like, well, yeah, if you take that out of it, then yeah, I had a good time. But aside from the head-to-head, the stats bear it. Incredible. They need to get him off TV. He is not fit for that position. That's basically what I'm.
He's an Iowa man.
He's making A&F look stupid. And that just leads me what if I can't imagine there's some Oregon, Ohio State stuff down the line here. Mm-hmm. But I guess they'll say, oh well, they played early on, so
yeah.
Who knows what he's going to say next?
Who knows?
But I guess we'll see how things play out. Oklahomar's out. Cincinnati.
Thank God Oklahomar's out.
I'll wear the L on that one. I predicted, what was that, 2 weeks ago they were going to go undefeated?
I locked that one up. I locked them up yesterday.
Didn't even make it out of the regular season undefeated. Bad call by me.
But
I didn't know. I always say the defense for my prediction, I didn't see any of that Kansas game because I was going to the pit.
Clemson. Little did we know Kansas was actually good.
Yeah.
Do you actually think Aranda is good?
Sure.
I'm not a believer yet.
As a good coach or like this actual team?
If he's worth the. I mean, I'm seeing USC.
Oh yeah, after 2 years, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, last year wasn't really that good. There's still rules, guys. He's eked out a couple of close wins here this year. Give him credit for that better than the close losses Penn State's had, right?
I would say he's good based on the scale of awesome job getting you a 10-year, $95 million extension. So on that scale, yeah, Rander's pretty good.
Rander is pretty good. It's
that scale.
Everything's out of whack now because I think there's a dearth of actual really hot name coaches, right? So you're getting these guys that have done a good job, but they're the top of the heap, right? And so, I mean, we like them, we don't love them, but all these big name jobs out there now.
I guess we'll do our weekly update on Jimmy. I read the Ron Cook article in the Post-Gazette.
Oh my gosh. Why would you waste your time? That guy has been dead in a stooge, whatever the anti-stooge is, that's him. Ever since he didn't vote for Larry Fitzgerald to win the Heisman.
Man with an axe to grind.
I read that. He's basically saying Jimmy's coaching his way out of Penn State.
No, CJF is apparently tonight. There's confirmation that his contract is in place. It's done basically.
10 years.
I may not be 10 years, but maybe they'll see this headline. He's the highest paid black coach in any sport, and maybe they'll one up him. I don't know. He's the highest paid coach in the Big Ten now. Not Jimmy. Mel is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it sounds like Jim will be back. Onwards and upwards. We can go over that situation now. I think he lost a lot of leverage here in the last month or so. Obviously, he was top of the heap, the first name out of people's mouths at the beginning of October, but kind of played his way out of that. And there's more people that are on top of their wish list now, and lost kind of a bargaining chip with Penn State, which, when we were talking about this a couple of weeks ago, I was excited to see, some type of change, right? Because it seems like Penn State has kind of hit a ceiling or been in a rut, right? Whatever you want to term it. But now, and with him hiring the new agent, you figured he's either going to get what he's asking for at Penn State or he's going to get it somewhere else, right? And now I think with the way the season's turned out, losing 4 out of 5, he's kind of lost that big leverage, or at least that big chip in the negotiations of the threat to leave, right? And now I don't think Penn State's as scared of him doing that, because I don't think he's the top of the list for any of those big names that were a threat a month ago. And so I'm wondering, and I don't know if it'll ever come out as far as public knowledge and consumption, like what type of what's the word I'm looking for? What did the allies and people keep giving Hitler? What's it called when you keep appeasements? What kind of appeasements he was afforded here?
I wasn't sure where you were going there for a second.
No, I'm not sure. Is there another word besides appeasements? What's the word I'm looking for? It's concessions. Yeah, what type of concessions?
Oh, executive producer Andy chiming in back there.
Executive producer Andy chiming in over there with his doppelganger, his Korean food he's eating.
We expect him to come on for a PSU Rutgers, a brother divided.
A brother divided. Andy knows where his loyalties lie for this weekend. Maybe I'll host a watch party at noon this Saturday. Everybody be recovering from.
This is our house.
This is our house from Mike, friend of Andy's, friend of the pod, maybe Mike's birthday. Well, yeah, the concessions. I'm interested to see what they ended up giving up to Jim, because I mean, if I were Penn State, I wouldn't necessarily. I've heard rumors that they'd heard his a list of requests before, and I don't think they felt the need to give him all of it, or felt as compelled as they were a month ago, right? So, I don't think they view him any differently. I think they definitely still support him and want him as their coach. I don't think the end of the season changed any of that for them and the belief in him. I think it just, because he doesn't have that big chip anymore of the ability to go to those big names. that he seemed to have a month ago. I wonder how much he ended up coming away from the bargaining table with, right? But well, hopefully that information will come out soon. I imagine if it doesn't come out here in the next week or so, we'll probably wait to the end of the season. Maybe they'll announce that then, maybe. But it sounds like the deal has been struck, right? So that's that. The CJF update from here, if you're listening.
Yeah, you don't want to be cutting too much into that Rutgers Penn State preview.
No, yeah, don't. That's outside of the Rutgers. Yes, Penn State preview. I'm sorry that took a lot of the news and notes time. AY. I know that's.
I don't think we had a pretty thin
I can
list.
speak to the rest here. We saw Iowa hung their 2020 Music City Bowl banner.
banner week for Barter and Iowa.
Almost as bad as Pat Narduzzi making his Twitter picture for a period of time. Him holding the what was it called again? Quick Lane Bowl trophy.
Not the Pizza. Not to be confused.
Not to be confused.
Was that when he lost to Eastern Michigan or played Eastern?
Well, they beat him. They won, but they lost that game.
That was the Eastern Michigan one?
Yeah, where they had the stupid.
Did you watch that game last night? They won 22-21.
I did not see that now.
Off IFA interception at the end.
Well, there you go. 2019 SOS.
SOS. There it is.
Yep.
Timmy Malinowski, freshman for Pittsburgh State. The bus broke down on the way to the game, and he fixed it. So, and they won. So good for him.
There you
go. FAU promoted Hines Ward to wide receiver coach.
Oh,
whoa.
man. Did not see that coming.
Did not see that coming.
Did not either. Read that today. And the last note, clear the races, F1 minute.
I did not know he was coaching. At last I saw him was a couple of years ago. He was in Times Square doing something for the Olympics for NBC, and I had an ice cream cake. The eclipse was happening. I was carrying the ice cream cake, and the eclipse was about to happen, and we talked.
He had to give way to Drew Brees and
they were
Mike Florio and all those jamokes.
But was it the Olympics or what was that? What was in Korea? What was this?
I think, right? Was that winter?
That would make sense that it was Olympics because he's at NBC.
Sochi, Sochi. No, that was Russia.
Pyeongchang.
Seoul.
Yeah.
Pyeongchang.
Or is Pyeongchang next year?
I'm not sure. Irregardless, evidently no longer with NBC in the same room.
It's true.
Olympics in 2018. What was that? 2018 was a Winter Olympics?
It was.
That sounds about right. It was just Korea, I think.
Which means South Korea.
Not to be confused.
Indeed. And final notes, we mentioned pre-pod, F1 minute, Hamilton won Interlagos and Sao Paulo, Brazil.
Way to go.
And if you've seen the random GIF of a guy in a Mercedes shirt angrily picking his head up and pointing, he was pointing to the stewards, basically the referee, the judges in the control room of Formula One. For an incident prior, Max Verstappen did not let Hamilton by, ran him off the road a bit, and they deemed it to be fair. Toto Wolff was pissed, the team principal, the boss, and Hamilton got by about 10 laps later. He then ran away with it. But once he got by, he was then pointing that finger in disgust at the steward, mainly Michael Massey, who is basically the punching bag for those guys. But
the Goodell.
Yeah, it was hilarious. It was very fired up.
Yeah.
So with 3 races to go, Verstappen leads by 14 points.
So that's basically a dead heat at this point, right?
According to the odds, yes.
That's what I was going off. I don't actually know what the you can get 2 points for all I know.
It would take 2 races, assuming they go 1-2, which they probably will. I mean, the way things are now, all efforts going into those 2 cars. But with 2 looking like Mercedes tracks next 2 weeks, very, very well could be tied or within, 2 or 3 point difference, depending on fastest lap. It could come down to the final week.
And that would be if Hamilton won that as well.
Hamilton's going to have to win the next 2, and we'll have some absolute major drama Absolutely.
I will watch the final pre.
The world will be spinning if Verstappen goes down. If there's a crash this week, 3 races to go. It'll be waiting for something to happen. We'll see.
Good CTR talk.
But this weekend they are in Qatar.
Who was I talking to about that? Was it you?
Me.
Ken?
It was me.
I can't stand that country.
Qatar.
I might go over there for the World Cup just to boo it the whole time.
A lot of
You might get
disgust.
thrown in one of the work camps, dude.
A lot of the drivers.
They'll never take me alive. Screw that
paddock,
place.
a lot of teams and drivers and crew members have voiced their displeasure for
Get that. Can we
F1
ship them
going
to
there.
Jupiter or something? Terrible.
I mean, they're already. I won't say it.
Yeah, that country does not deserve the worldwide events they are getting.
Yeah,
Which is a shame because I'm sure the people are fine, but the top 0.5% are just complete scum.
and they have 99.5% of the money.
Yes.
I venture to guess more of it actually.
99.7.
9.7. So there you have it. Last week, Dan, flying the flag.
Fly the flag.
8-5. no one hit block.
Yeah. Holton Anis got there. Really never in doubt. I think they were down 7-0. That was the most it was in doubt because I think we were getting 5.5 or 6. So finally creeping back up into the respectability territory for the locks. And it looks like if these standings are correct, I am even week 0 notwithstanding on the season.
Oh, yeah, it's true.
Week 0 notwithstanding.
Yeah, the bagel, the week 0 honorary bagel.
That week is still under steward's inquiry, so we might.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. What do those guys think of having the same title as people with horse races?
I don't know. Probably not great.
Yeah.
No one likes them. Definitely my least favorite part. They try to put their hands on way too much. Let them race.
Yeah.
You guys got anything else?
I don't think so. Mullen.
Mullen is not good.
And
Yeah, we're not
this is
putting it on this
a
week.
big bump for Todd Grantham. For him
So
too.
we didn't talk. We talked about. We just mentioned Jimmy Lake, right?
We did not actually.
Did we not?
Because he
Do
got
you
fired
mind-
when? Monday?
The
Or
cell.
Sunday?
I'm saying earlier this evening, like a couple
We
minutes.
we said last week he was basically out the door, just wasn't announced yet, and now
the door is shut. It has closed on his ass.
Yeah.
yes.
Along with our friend Fuente.
Oh yes.
We missed that too, yeah. So
Well,
wow, I mean, these are still decent jobs in theory, at least.
I know. I think. Well, which one do you think is better, Virginia Tech or the Washington job?
Washington for sure.
You think for sure?
Yeah.
I mean, ACC.
Pac-12 is asked too.
Yeah, but you think about the
Virginia is a better football state now. Yeah, that's a nice little
Virginia's
bed.
got good prospects. They could go into North Carolina, which is a deep pool also.
I
You
disagree.
could probably go over to Georgia and pick whoever Georgia doesn't want, or pick up some of those low rank guys there too.
Time will tell.
I think Virginia is definitely much more appealing. Both conferences are relatively weak. I would say I'd argue Virginia Tech is a little more positioned than Washington.
So you really just had it in for Fuente this whole time.
Yeah, well, I was saying he should be much better. That's why I was saying he should be getting fired. I'm saying the job can be better, can be good, but they have not been.
Still
What do you-
weird. Still weird. Because of how long Beamer was there for.
All right, and
Or
Beamer.
it's
Bring
all-
Shane home.
Oh, that would be fantastic. He
Uh,
was kind of close to getting it anyway, wasn't he?
I don't
Or am
know.
I making that up?
I'm not sure because he had left. He had left after Beamer had
He left the
finished.
family.
He had gone to Oklahomar.
But that might be what they're down to. Something
Yeah.
like that. With all these other
if they brought
openings.
him home, I'd die. If they brought him home,
Maybe they'll bring
they'll
bring Ricky Ronnie a touch up north.
I gotta go check out the boards. Actually, now that you're mentioning it, I need to see how many of them have some bring Shane home. So threads, how many of those they have. Speaking of which, Franklin was asked about Joe Paterno today at the Wednesday practice, and he said he'd be happy to talk about Rutgers.
Okay. Is this the 10-year anniversary of that stuff?
It has just passed now, probably a week or so past. I think it's the 3rd or the 4th, something like that, when it broke.
So one of the most surreal things.
I thought we would have seen more of that.
Let's see. It was November 4th is when everything started breaking. The 5th, I remember sitting on the shitter and looking at the Twitter machine back when it was in its infancy, and Joe yelling, "You seeing this stuff?"
Yeah,
through the shitter. And I think I played it off. I said, "It's." Because I remember seeing some like weird stuff about it on some boards, like not necessarily to that extent, but we could hash that stuff out later, or not even later. We don't need to talk about that stuff, but
maybe in oral history someday.
In oral history,
we'll put it on Periscope, like when I did my 10 years of the 13-9.
Yeah,
my pit Crocs. That's out there somewhere. Not available on DVD, unfortunately. Shall we talk about games, even though Cam would hate to do that?
Let's do it. We actually have a pretty good, meaningful game, although it could be part 1 of 2. But it's game of the week. Oregon at Utah. The Utes laying 3.
Here's my broad thought on this, if I may start.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Whittingham, though he's had a number of scalps in his day, I don't think they come this late in the season. My second question is, does the angle, obviously it's purely unranked teams favored over ranked teams. Is there a lower ranked
favorite?
Yeah, basically an addendum to that angle. Are we aware of?
I'm not.
But it just seems like they're unranked, even though.
Also, are you going? You're going by AP poll rankings here? Are we going by AP poll rankings?
I think there's the playoff rankings, right?
There's a playoff. I did
because I heard somebody bring it up earlier about.
No, the trend. I'm saying.
Oh.
I would presume, yeah, mainly.
Yeah.
Because it goes back way beyond playoff rankings even started.
Right.
But I heard somebody bitching, earlier about how they just shoehorned Utah into the top 20. I mean, I think they probably are a top 25 team, but they shoehorned them in for Oregon to have their – basically, I think it's to ice out Cincinnati. So if they say, they beat a ranked team on the road.
The way Cincinnati's been playing, I don't think they deserve to be in the playoff.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't want to go in too much of a tangent with that, but those are my 2 things. I'm picking Oregon. I think they can match up enough. They've seen enough. They're familiarized enough with the Polynesian beef that Utah has to offer year in and year out. They beat them a couple of years ago, infamously knocking them out of the playoff, right? So
is it a revenge game?
It could be argued as a revenge game. I think it's just more of a when you match the 2 scenarios up, and even though it's Air Bear versus Anthony Brown, I don't think Air Bear was that much more impactful than Anthony Brown was in college. So that's really where I get down on. I think they also have the best player in Dye. It's probably too late he would have to have more steam for a Heisman case, but I think he should be up there a little bit more than he is in the Heisman buzz. So I'm going Ducks outright in. I still didn't find the master lock I was looking for, but this is my lock. This will be my lock of the week as well. Thank you. Out of the gate
early again.
Yes. Yeah, Cam last week with the first game Oklahoma.
I mean, I've been 3 or 4 in a row losses now. I think 3 in a row on the line.
Squandering a gigantic lead.
Yes.
Is it correlated to Penn State's slide? We don't know.
It may be. I've lost all momentum in my life.
Yikes!
It does suck. Not to pour salt in the wound, but it does suck that Ohio State. Although they're still ridiculous. Ohio State this year, but going into the year, it looked like a little bit more gettable, despite being on the road.
I mean, they were definitely gettable. Even in the game, they were gettable. Yeah. I hear what you're saying. I agree. I don't think the Utes are that good. I would love to see some type of chaos here. But I've watched that Whittingham team this year, and they haven't impressed me all that much.
Great second half against Turner. That's all.
Right. That's about it, I think.
They also were down 14 points in that game.
Right. They lost the Holy War, right?
Yeah. That was with Chuck Brewer, though. They have this new quarterback.
That's before Rising Rose.
Yeah.
Before Rising Rose. Listen, I don't think this Utah team is that good. I tend to agree with you, Dan, that they may be shoehorning them in there at the tail end of the top 25. Try to help Cristobal out. Why am I saying his name like that? Is that from Power? Is there a guy named Cristobal?
Maybe, yeah. Yep.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do, yeah.
Okay.
AY's still on the pilot for that.
Yeah. I will go with Oregon as well here. 3 points is, I think. I mean, they're getting 3 points, so I'll take Oregon here with the win. I think it'll be a good game though. I'll go 27-20, something like that. I think it'll be hard fought, similar to that Washington game, but less gross, a little bit less gross.
All right. I don't think there's any big injury news either before you go, AY, unless you have something.
No, I don't. I was pretty much going to talk about the hair on Cam Rising. Beautiful flow.
Great flow.
Great mane. Chuck Brewer, good hair too. I mean, Utah, pretty boring. Although Oregon kind of boring too. This isn't your
Oregon is gross. Yeah.
This isn't your Oregon team that we grew up on. This isn't
No, not even close. Far
not-
cry. But more loaded. But more loaded from
Top to bottom, or
yeah.
talent-wise.
Nothing like those fun teams with Dixon and Masoli and Mariota.
No,
But-
those guys were always light in the pants.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is maybe even back to the beginning of Oregon, back with the Ontario Smith, just a run-heavy team.
Ooh, yeah.
So
These guys just run the ball, great running team. Utah doesn't do anything special. Oregon doesn't either, but Oregon's just better at doing the bland stuff.
Yep.
And I really can Pledger get going for Utah? Sure.
Britton Covey. He's been around. I think he played in 2015.
Oh, geez.
The receiver, kick returner.
It's a 7:30 Eastern kick, so 4:30, 5:30 Mountain. Could get a little weird. I don't believe this at all, but strictly for picks, Utah wins.
All right.
It's just,
so wait, Utah wins. They're -3. So
they win by 4.
okay.
Okay.
It's just one of those games. You know, you have a game or two, maybe once every few weeks, where you don't believe it, but you just don't think you're right. You don't trust it. So yeah, give me Utah. More than I'm going to pour it out for chaos, I suppose.
Yeah.
Because that Cincinnati needs to watch behind them. Who knows what's going to happen there? But I'm here for it.
Britton Covey, 43 catches in 2015. How is that possible? Nobody knows. He must have went on a mission.
Well,
Yeah, he might have gone on a mission. I mean, you saw the what is his name? Trey Lander or something. I forget. Not something. Coleman Lands on that played for Illinois, then went to what's it called? What's the team called in the Big East? That's the Chicago team. DePaul. Played at DePaul and played at Iowa State and is now at Kansas.
Yes.
I think he's in the 6th or 7th year.
also a journeyman.
Also
Yep.
journeyman.
That is crazy. If you just look at those college basketball rosters,
Oh, yeah.
it has started. It started last night because Pitt won. It
Oh,
did start last night.
yeah. What's his face is there? The Bohannon is there at Iowa for a 6th year, and he's like
Yeah.
played every year. I think.
Yeah.
Except for the year he really got hurt.
Congrats to longevity.
Yep.
Yes, old man and Davison as well.
Speaking of old men, we're not covering them tonight. Yeah, we are. Well, I'll wait. Sparty round. Let's start off with.
Sparty.
We'll start with Sparty. Michigan State, Ohio State. Top 10 matchup, but Vegas doesn't think so. 19-point spread. Mel Tucker better sign before this game.
It's very strategically positioned. This
It was a good question. I forget who tweeted it. I was looking at about an hour ago. But how much do you think that fumble that went the wrong way that the Big Ten said they made a mistake on that was fumbled for a touchdown that was overturned for Michigan? How much do you think that fumble recovery is worth here in millions of dollars?
Right. Yeah.
Looks like a lot.
Fair hypothetical. We picked Sparty in the Sparty round here, though. They cover.
Yeah,
I say they covered by 6 points.
I tend to agree here. I mean, Ohio State, they came off the mat, looked good against Purdue last week. You generally expect them to come into these big games and be focused and put it on their opponent. You think similar to, I think it was 2017, we saw something like that. I think it was a relatively pretty highly ranked matchup between both of them at the Party Barn. I think we watched it, but
yeah, that was a beatdown though.
And it was a beatdown.
Yeah,
you'd think conventional wisdom would indicate that, but the way Ohio State's played this year, I could see this one, being nip and tuck a little bit. Ken Walker, K9, having a good game again. That defense isn't what you're used to with Ohio State, and I think Reed will make a couple of plays. I think Michigan State will cover here. I'll take like a 10-point loss for them.
All right.
I'm going rogue again. I think Ohio State absolutely pours on them here. Sparty, looking at their win probability post game, the first half of the year, I think I saw the numbers.
It's a miracle.
If you parlayed like their lowest moments over the 4-game stretch, it's like a 1 in 4,000 chance they win those. It's that much, but you get it. Yeah, just that Walker can run it, sure, but when he doesn't have the ball and that defense on the field, that pass defense is so freaking bad. I know it's just
trying to cover all three of those receivers instead of just.
I know it just makes too much sense that the pass defense being that bad and Ohio State's pass attack being that good should work out that well. And usually it kind of it doesn't. I'm just gonna say it does this time, and it just turns into gross. Stroud throws for 5 touchdowns, maybe 6, and Ohio State wins by 20, maybe even 24. But I'll say 30.
Oh, he would knock Kenny Walker out of the Heisman for that for sure.
What if it was like 62-31?
Maybe like 56-21.
I mean,
looks all right though.
Purdue, wasn't that the score of the Purdue game? It was like 59-30, 31 or something.
40-29, I think.
What? No, not their Purdue game. Ohio State's Purdue game.
Ohio State. Oh yeah, that was crazy scoring. Yep.
I'm thinking similar.
They covered though. That's all I know.
Yeah, they did cover. All right, we're on to Ty playing against the pole assassin here.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the first time we've gone over all the stats here from that amazing Texas-Kansas game. First time Texas is on a 5-game losing streak since 1956. First time Kansas has won on the road in the Big 12 since 2008. 56-game road Big 12 losing streak snapped. First game that Texas has lost at home to Kansas ever. First time, or the most points that Kansas has scored in a road Big 12 game since 1996, when they scored 56, I think, against Oklahoma, actually. Back in Oklahoma swooning. Yeah, swooning. I mean, it was right before Stoops took over, I think, in 98. So, rough. Amazing game, and even more amazing, they were up 3 touchdowns on multiple occasions, right? And that first half was amazing after they got the strip sack and then the swing pass that goes for a touchdown. Immediately after that, you're thinking, can you imagine if Texas turns the ball over again here? And what do? They throw a pick 6. Absolutely amazing. Up at the half, and Kansas is waving at the crowd as they're walking into the locker room at the half. It was good stuff. I loved it.
Well, I'm taking them to get off the mat.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I like Neil Brown hire I'm interested to see what he does with a new quarterback next year, and willing to give him some longer leash with that. Not much beyond that, though. They really could be a 2-win team right now.
Not great.
But they got that NC State win. They got that NC State. What was it? NC State?
No, Virginia Tech.
Virginia
Tech. Yeah,
they had some ridiculous goal line. That was some red zone goal line debauchery by Virginia Tech in that game, despite handing it to them on a platter.
That's right. They were up big, weren't they?
Yeah. It was, and I don't think they've had much negative variance go against it. Like they had Iowa State fumbled out of the end zone that would have tied that game. I mean, it's interesting where they're at. So another bite at the apple with another quarterback, and then see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, I only added this game just so we could talk about Texas being funny.
Yeah.
But I do think they won.
Central Columbia shirt?
Is that what?
Is that a Central Columbia shirt? Is that a J? I see.
Yeah, that's a Blue Jay. Yeah.
Go Jays.
Go Jays. Go Jays.
It's 1 year our soccer wear for some reason was in black.
The blackout jersey. The black.
Sick. I was like, yeah. So this is really small now, but I just wear it in the house.
Here you go.
So Texas, hook them by 10. So,
All right. You mapping all the? Are you writing all these down, Cam?
Yes.
All right.
do you agree with this, Cam?
Yeah, I do. I
Okay.
do. I've been a believer in Sarkisian going back to the beginning. I think I was thinking 9 wins coming this year. I'll go down with the ship here. I think they will get off the mat here. They will win, and I don't know if it's going to be convincing. They've got to put it together at some point, right? The offense has blown 10-point leads multiple times. I think they finally hold on here. Do we know how Bijan is doing? I know he left the game with the
He's out for the year. Yeah.
Oh, geez. I'll still go with them. All on Texas. All right. Okay.
All on Texas. A game I'm very excited for. Wake Forest at Clemson.
Very interesting one.
I don't know if Clemson can score enough points here.
Will they give up enough, though?
I don't know if they can either. I thought NC State would provide some resistance to that woke offense.
That woke offense is pretty damn good.
And it did not. It did not provide
Do you think
much.
Clausen's going to go somewhere?
He's got to be at the top of the – I mean, he's not getting any buzz. He's got to get – one of these. I don't think he's going to go to Virginia Tech, obviously, but –
Washington, maybe?
That'd be a weird fit, but
he could do his own thing out there. Nobody would worry about him.
Yep.
I think it would be a decent fit in Washington.
Yeah.
But
I think they cover here. I go hedging P for the first time tonight. Actually, the second time tonight with the woke. Heartbreaker. Another heartbreaker by field goal. I'd be sick in the balls if I were a Wake fan. I don't know how many points. I'll go 27-24. I'll say the Clemson defense does all right. And they actually convert things.
I don't want to pick this game at all.
It's a tough one.
You know what? I think something with this Wake team, I know they dropped the North Carolina game, but I think there's something about it. I'll push the dominoes for you, Dan. I'm thinking Woke goes to the ACC championship.
Yeah, I want them to, obviously. I've been pretty vocal about that.
Yeah,
I definitely would not want Pitt to play Clemp again.
I'll take Wake here for the win, actually. I'll go money line Wake.
Okay.
I think it's similar. I'm thinking gold Sharpie here. I'm thinking signature win for Clausen.
Signature win, yep. AY stalling.
He wants to go woke. He wants to go woke. He wants to be awake.
I'm going to take I just can't go against the system. I can't. I am rooting for Wake Forest in this game so much. Clemson wins. I don't know if there's weather coming or what, but something helps them win this game.
These guys have been.
I hate to say it, maybe like an injury for Heartman.
To the
I don't want
Heartman.
to say. I don't want to put it out there.
When you look at how this Clemson team, they were down however many points to Louisville. They're down to Florida State. Like
I would love to see nothing more than Dabo lose another game.
I know. That's what I'm saying. That
Screw
is
it.
what I'm saying.
This is-
like these guys have been.
There's always the
lucky to
exception,
get
right?
this-
There's the exception, and this is the exception for this year. The only time we're going against the system. Wake goes in there, and wins this game outright.
Oh, you're switching. Okay, so you're
There's
going back.
one exception. I will say one exception.
All on Woke.
We're all on woke. Wake goes in and wins. Dabo, you take yourself out of the coach's poll because you suck at that. Because your team sucks. You're not seeing your team. You can't bring your team up in there anymore. Screw you, man. Go eat Chick-fil-A.
Fila. All right, here we
Woke
go.
wins. You know what? Since we're on the side, Woke goes in there and puts up 41.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Clemson scores
I can see that.
27.
Oh wow. Double digits for the Wolford wagon.
Just go in there and run it.
All right. Okay. We've got the preseason Big 12 game of the year. Iowa State, fresh off this 62-yard bomb loss.
Devastating.
I mean, you barely even see this in the NFL. I feel like, although you see like what
That's
was
the bomb.
it was a bomb. And he cleared it with some room. He did clear it with some room.
did.
Do we know how that kicker is like he's doing this year, like overall?
I do not.
I wonder if like
I
this
didn't
is-
research.
I'm going Iowa State though. This is the collision of two teams coming from two different losses. The heartbreaker and the just piss poor performance.
And Oklahoma's had quite a few piss poor performances.
Yep.
Um,
I'm going to Iowa State on the field.
Yeah.
Just they've been better at times this year. Oklahoma way too many skating, and I think they just derail themselves.
If they win this and say, I guess that would still only leave them with 2 losses. I'm wondering how gross this Big 12, how gross these Big 12 standings could get. Because there's Baylor with 2 losses. Oklahoma State and Oklahoma have 1 loss.
Yeah.
Could we have the second place team with 3 losses? That's what I'm wondering.
I mean that happens a decent amount, right? Texas, I feel like
Decent amount?
with 3 losses a couple of times. I feel like
3 total overall losses. I'm talking about conference losses.
That's pretty gross.
Yeah. Very postally. Yeah.
Ah man, so you guys are both on the clones.
I'm going clones.
Yeah, they always play the Sooner. They know what to do against
They always
Oklahoma.
do play them close, which is why I'm going law of averages. They're due to have a clunker against them. I think
All right.
that loss, not that freaking Oklahoma shouldn't have been woken up already from their days with all the shitty ball they've been playing, but I feel like that loss may have refocused them. I think they know that there's 0 margin. Not that they couldn't have told that already from their number 8 ranking, being undefeated 9-0. I think they'll come out here and win here. Call it a gut instinct. I've got them winning here by 7. I think it'll be a good game, 28-21.
Okay, Arkansas at Alabama. Bama laying 21. I'm taking the Pitman here. Like this is, I know, it's a lot of points, and I know Bama last time out, not against a real team. LSU, like we said, they kind of had them right in the crosshairs, and I cannot shake that putrid rushing attack. I think the Pitman just muddies this game up. Bama wins by 14. Maybe not even.
Oh, I'm going Bama. No real insight, just gut.
I agree. Pittman, we saw
With
them
who?
lose. What's that?
With who? Who do you agree?
I agree with Pittman being in a little bit of trouble here. I think it'll be a similar story to what we saw against Georgia for them. A couple of turnovers here and there. Oh, Alabama, I think it'll take a little bit for them to get going, but I think they'll eventually get there and get to the 24-point win. So I'll go with a 34-10 victory here. That the offensive performance by the Pitt man last week against LSU had me concerned.
Yeah.
So I will side with AY here.
Okay.
All right.
Smoo at Cincy. Catch 11.5.
The way that they've been playing, I'll take the 11.5. I'll go 10-point loss here for Smoo.
I'm going Cincy again. Just got not real. I mean, Dykes is going to take TCU in all likelihood, right? I think his team may realize that too, based on how they played the last couple of games.
That's true.
No, I mean they played a good game against Houston. That was a true coin flip, obviously, but follow that up with another loss, and
Smooth's not going to the Big 12, right?
I think they are.
Where they are?
No, Houston. It's Houston, UCF,
I know Houston is. Houston, UCF.
BYU, and who's the fourth team? Is it Boise?
BYU.
I can't keep track of all of it.
Houston, UCF, BYU. Yeah, there's a fourth team.
Is it Cincinnati?
Cincinnati, yeah. Smoo left out in the cold. They may take that personally, but maybe they take it personally to the point where they lose by 12.
Maybe, or they could cash my plus 320 I took on them earlier today.
Oh,
outright.
Lock that 11.5.
I kind of want to change it, but it wasn't dead eye. It was a crack shot with these.
I don't know if I want to lock it up because I have another one I like, but I might circle back to it. Yeah, I think Mordecai just things all over. This Cincinnati defense, I've been waiting for them all year to just really clamp down. The best they looked might have been the Notre Dame game, but looking back on it, that Notre Dame offense that week that front half of the year was really bad. And then the O-line the last 4 weeks has been awesome. So, they've been playing with, I'm not saying playing with fire, but they've been kind of staring at it for a few weeks now. And this week they play with it, and they get burned.
All right.
Mordecai, dude, there's 37 touchdowns this year. He slings it. Sauce Gardner, not to get exposed, son.
There we go.
Baylor at K-State. Gross game.
Gross game going against the angle once again here with the Bears in Rander.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
This will be very rough. This will be a very rough and tumble game.
This will be 20-17.
Like the Minnesota Iowa game last week we picked.
Not watching any of this, but give me the Cats.
All right, the angle.
Back in that, and the last one, Oklahoma State at Texas Tech, laying 10.5. And I was going to mention earlier, do you guys see the age of this Cowboy defense?
No.
How old their players are? It's like BYU.
Oh my gosh.
They're all 22 or older.
Wow. So they are Wisconsin basketball.
They're a bunch of men. They're playing like it.
They are pretty good.
Definitely. I like them.
What a reversal. What a reversal from the days of yore. The Yurcich offense, which I now have, this Texas Tech team. They fire Wells. They're 6-4. The Holcomb really having the foresight to avoid the dead cat bounce. Right, he knew what he was doing when he was firing Wells.
He did know, but he's not going to know what to do this week.
Yes.
24-6. I would say shutout, but we've seen this kicker hit bombs.
He can hit bombs, yeah.
I'll give him 2.
They'll still be celebrating it along with the rest of the team for the first half, but yeah.
Boards are saying 10-year deal for Jim.
Oh, here we go.
10-year deal for Jim. Jim and Mel getting matching 10-year deals will be amazing. Good job.
Keeping up with the Joneses.
Coaches. Good job for black coaches. And Penn State not wanting to look racist. We got to match him. We got to match him.
Jeez.
Speaking of which,
Dan, you're going Oklahoma State. I will go
Yeah.
Gundy as well. He's a man. He's got a defense full of men that may be full.
Yep.
So I will go with him as well.
Okay. 3 to go. On to
Hey, wait, did
Holy
you take
Try. Oh, yeah. Pokes for sure.
all on Gundy?
And this week, we are all 2+ touchdown favorites. What could go wrong?
Wow.
Someone's shaking their head, not sure why.
I'm hiding under the table.
We will obviously save the best for last year.
Oh my gosh.
Cam, you and Andy have the floor.
Andy, you want to come preview Rutgers?
The world will wait for it.
He won't. Okay, so Rutgers, they played well. I think every Big Ten win that Schiano has had has been on the road. They are a team that plays well when their backs against the wall, them against the world. I think they like it. They played Penn State tough, going back to before Rutgers. Before Schiano, Piano Man, they've played Penn State very closely. They're always at the end of the year. Penn State's usually beat up by then. Even their Penn State's good teams, they haven't played well against Rutgers. So, remember 2018 ugly game. I think they won like 20-7 or something like that. Last year, very ugly game. It was just the Taz Levis pound ahead game.
The bank wins game.
Yeah. I think the team hasn't quit. I think they will play hard. The issue here is playing hard and getting to what they're getting to. They're struggling to get to 20, 24 points. Like, is that a bad thing? Is like, how good of a thing is it that they're playing hard and they're struggling this hard to get to where they're going? It's like you look at the scheme, you look at what Penn State did against Michigan. Like, it's not like guys were in the wrong place or whatever. They're just getting fucking beat, which is hard to watch. Now, be it you got 2 potential first rounders there on the defensive ends for Michigan or Boulder, right? But Penn State's offensive line hasn't played well all season. We've tarped on the running game. It's hard to watch.
When was the last time? Sorry to cut you off. When was the last time they did have an offensive line play well?
It hasn't been since Franklin's been there. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
So to borrow a line from the conductor Deach after the last painful loss, he cycled through offensive line coaches. This is what, their third one? What's the common denominator? James Franklin. So maybe there is, something to it. He is a common denominator. At some point, you got to look yourself in the mirror, right? He's gone through a couple of offensive line coaches now. Haven't been able to rectify the issues. I mean, I don't think they're going to get solved this season, but I think this offseason there's going to be a lot of hard questions that will be asked. This line coach that he's got now, Troutline's been in here for 2 years now. Not that I'm a proponent of pulling the plug after 2 years, but there may be a lot of hard discussions and hard conversations that come out of this season. And I think the first place he's going to have it is at line. We'll see where they end up going. For Rutgers, they've got a couple of nice playmakers, but one of the big ones, Cruikshank, not there anymore. He's hurt. They still have Bo Melton. I think his brother's on the other side of the field, but he's been picked on quite a bit. There have been some big plays that have been able to be had on this Rutgers team, but it's a team that's been weird. They've been up and down. They've gotten killed by Ohio State, but you remember going on the road, playing against Michigan, they played them real tough, right? They got down early, but they came back. I think they were within 3 points, maybe even a touchdown. A touchdown could have won it for them in Ann Arbor. Like I said, they played well on the road. They beat Illinois on the road. They've beaten who's their other Big Ten win on the road? Indiana. Well, the last game against Indiana, 35-30.
A drubbing
of onions. No offense.
I think he's clocked out this point.
Yeah. Listen, 17 points is a little much for me, especially with this offense. Who knows where the defense's head is at? They've played fantastic ball all year, but have not come up big when they've been asked the most, right? Not that they haven't been asked of a lot already, but not that you can expect them to not give up plays. It's college football after all, but in the clutch, they have been short on plays of the last couple of weeks, at least, right? I know they made a couple in the first game as well as Auburn, but the last couple of weeks, the team needs a pick me up. They've come out, and you've seen seasons where Penn State hasn't really done well, and they've come out and kind of exerted their force and got a lot of frustration out at the end of the year. Those were always a surprise. I could see that happening against a team like Rutgers. I'm just not necessarily sure that it will happen, and for that reason, I don't like. I think there's a lot of beat up people there in that locker room, emotionally and physically. So 17 is a little much for me. I'll go with the 10 to 14 point victory here for Penn State, but I do think it'll be hard fought. Schiano talked about it. He says he can't talk about it being a rivalry yet because they haven't won, right? So
Correct.
They haven't won since before Schiano was not at Rutgers, but before Schiano was at Penn State. That's how long it's been. So I will go with them to win again, but I will not. I will be taking those points on the road because Rutgers plays well on the road.
This reeks of 31-10 or 38-10 Penn State. I'll say this. There is a line of demarcation.
They haven't done that against anybody except Nova.
Yeah. Well, maybe it'll start now. There's a line of demarcation where I just don't wish things on any fan base, including Penn State, including West Virginia, including Notre Dame, whoever. For instance, the Kansas loss. I don't care. I've been there, and I don't want anybody else to have to experience that. However, for Schiano to go bowling and clinch a bowl by beating Penn State on the road, I'm tempted to see what Rutgers Al and Co could come up with on what's their Scarlet whatever. What's their message board, Kim?
I think it's Scarlet something. Let me see. Right.
Whatever their board is, the dialogue and the commentary may be worth that.
It's called the Round Table. ScarletNation.com. The board is called the Round Table.
Scarlet Nation. The Round Table. That could be worth it. That could be worth it to see what comes out of that. I mean,
Rutgers Al has predicted 17 to 14 victory on the road.
They will be thinking national championship inside of 3 years if they win this game to go bowling. They will project that forward. So I'm wondering if that's worth it. But I for obviously above all else would like to be right. 31-10 Penn State.
Above all else.
I mean, how can you not sell Rutgers Al after that?
17-14, the classic. That was the score for the original classic.
I think it was even lower than that.
Or was it 14-10? Yeah, it might have been
14-10, I think. 13-10.
Yeah.
So if you got my two go-to for the pulse of teams and these matchups are Can for Penn State and Rutgers Al for Rutgers. If they're both taking the points, who am I to go against that?
That's true. That is a very good point.
I am taking the points for that simple reason. And Ken, you did allude to they haven't really flexed their muscle against anyone besides Nova.
They really didn't flex that much against them either.
So
like 38 points.
I'll take the points. I think Schiano is really going to have these guys fired up. Really, I mean, fired up can only take you so far. I understand that. The talent disparity is there. But, I mean, State is banged up. The
talent disparity was there against Illinois, against Bird as well.
It was.
Bird with COVID, by the way.
Yeah, hopefully speedy recovery.
This could be the spot where the Lawn Boys get going. So we'll see.
Had to get it. For those keeping track that haven't been, AY has mentioned the Lawn Boys every single Penn State game.
I think the Lawn Boys will get it going here, although the rush attack is in the hundreds this year. Not great, but could be going. I'll take Gert's cover, though. I think these boys will be fired up. And if you're looking for the double result, take the tie at the half. State to win. State by 14. 27-13. Nah, no kicking. You see Jimmy fake field goals all the time.
Oh my God! Yeah, we didn't even cover
28-14.
that. I didn't mind it though. I have to say I didn't mind. I mean, it was. Worked out poorly the second one.
I
I
think
did. He doubled down. He said, "Do it again."
but why would you do it on the same drive when it happened already? Like,
I also defended the Mike Tomlin
expecting it.
fake
Like,
field goal, so I guess
maybe he did the reverse psychology where they think that he wouldn't be dumb enough to do it again,
He's on another level.
but he did it again. It
I
was the
didn't see
right call. I think he would have had the corner.
I didn't see
He
it
had a lead
coming.
blocker out
was
there.
he
but
supposed to throw that again or no?
Yeah, no, not throw it. He fumbled it. He
I
fumbled
know,
it.
but was he supposed to throw
No,
it? Or
I
was
think
it
he had a
designed for
lead
him to run it
blocker
in?
because 44, the wild fat ass was
Yeah.
out there. The wild fat ass was out there.
The elusive WFA.
Yeah.
The WFA was out there lead blocking.
That is one thing that, regardless of how Penn State's season ends, you always have the wild fat ass formation.
The issue is that the throw was so poor that it was like that here. He couldn't get any momentum going, and then he saw that the defender had the angle, so he slowed up, which resulted in the tackle and the fumble and the return of 20-something odd yards for the 30-yard loss. They were still even counting that loss, or I guess if you take out the sack yardage, because he had 7 freaking sacks, they still outrushed freaking Michigan.
Yeah, it's
which
crazy.
If you
Throwback.
want the silver lining, Penn State had a little bit of success running the ball, but
With the Lawn Boys. They're just
the lawn boy. Hopefully, they focus it on one lawn boy, one lawn boy with 88 yards. But love it with a terrible game. I think it was 3 drops he had. Just not good out there.
Yeah, I'm disappointed in him.
Me too.
Okay. On to, I believe, Irish next. Yes. Georgia Tech at Notre Dame, 17-point spread here. Hamilton
Tricky
out
game.
for the rest of the year. Next week and a half. I would assume the bowl game as well. Saw that coming. It's fine. Look, Tech has one player. Jameer Gibbs?
Yeah.
I think it's Gibbs. Leading rusher, leading receiver. Like, seriously, you got one guy to stop. Figure it out, stop him. They did the job last week against UVA Sans Armstrong, and we'll see if Dan faces.
Tunnel Popper.
We'll see if Dan faces the quarterback who was aptly named last weekend.
Volkswagen.
The Wolffolk Wagon didn't have it, but we'll get to that later. Notre Dame was what 21. Was it nothing at half? I think.
Yeah, I think so. I
Coaching
don't think
home.
they got quite the 28.
Just the coach job in. I saw a stat yesterday. I think it was Notre Dame. The past 4 or 5 years, once November hit, so after October, the schedule has lightened up in the last those stretches, but they've just been basically pouring it on teams. So let's just keep it going. I think Notre Dame wins this game 34-13. Rush Tech gets going, and they just find a way to stop Georgia Tech's one player on offense.
I think it's a little bit tricky for Notre Dame. I've got Georgia Tech covering. Just going, I guess, off of throwing the result of last week out in that analysis. Had some tighter games against the Postal and co. Tight, maybe not tighter, tight-ish games.
I mean, you look back
Carolina, Virginia Tech.
Look back a few weeks ago. They're losing to Carolina. They losing to Virginia Tech. Yeah, I'm just kind of.
That's what I'm going off of for this one.
Yeah.
I don't think Georgia. I mean, they're so weird. Next year's a big year for them. In terms.
Do you know what I'm excited about for this game, though?
Let me think.
The good old days are back.
Oh, that's right. Well, the teddy bears, yeah. Yeah, we got to post that. I forget.
I'll have to watch that video tonight. Notre Dame's number 2.
Good old days.
I love how they
Led by
played.
Charlie Ward.
Georgia Tech had Calvin Johnson, and they played maybe a second of they highlighted Reggie
Well,
Ball.
no, they showed him getting rocked, right, by Echimandu or whatever.
Yeah.
And Ndukwe.
Ndukwe.
Yeah.
Echinobi, Echimandu, Echinukwe.
Chinadu. That was his first name, right? Chinadu or something.
Chinadu,
Chinadum Ndakwe.
Yeah.
Ndakwe, yeah. He was
Not to be confused with Ngakwe.
high school teammates with Brady Quinn.
Welcome to the new glory days.
No, you're the new
good old
days.
Welcome to the new good old days. That was the line from Brett for that promo. Oh, phenomenal.
What a great
Good promo.
Yep.
Hopefully they play it again. Maybe NBC has the rights.
Love the throwback. All right, my game next, right? The only thing I'll talk about, I think, is
who'd you pick, Cam?
I will pick. Oh, hold on, I didn't record who you guys picked either.
We're split.
I don't think Georgia Tech is very good. I will take Notre Dame here to cover.
I got Georgia Tech covering just for.
And AY has who?
Irish. Keep it rolling.
Yep.
Against, I just think Georgia Tech's bad.
Yeah, me too.
All right, on to the game. This determines the trip.
In all likelihood, determines.
This is the de facto.
You think the Cavs got the Commonwealth Cup?
This is the semifinals for the Orange Bowl. Oh wait, the Orange Bowl this year is the playoff game, right? Is one of the playoff games.
Yeah, I'm not sure where the ACC champion.
ACC goes to Peach.
There you go, Peach Bowl implications on the line.
This is the semifinal for the Peach
against the Irish. Let's not beat around the bush. The one true ACC championship will be the Irish.
Although I did see earlier today, I did take a sneak peek, and Irish were going out to the Fiesta.
Oh, really? So who they have in the Peach?
I'll circle back when I pick. I'll let you know. But it was Irish versus
maybe Cincinnati. That would get me almost to going to the game. If they played Cincinnati, if Pitt played Cincinnati, that would almost get me. That's really
potential national champions.
You're really tempting my personal policy of don't go to anything other than the playoff. That would be hard. I'm going to buy a ticket if they
Dan, if Penn State played Pitt in the Pinstripe Bowl, would you come out here?
Absolutely not. No offense.
Oh, yeah.
It's like Ari Gold's thoughts on New Year's Eve. Fuck New Year's Eve. Overrated, overpriced.
But I don't think it's overpriced. I think it probably like.
I know. But the whole expense for what you're actually getting is.
All right, here we go. I do have it up.
All right, yeah, let's see. You want to share it? Can you share it, AY?
He's on the phone.
He's on the phone.
Oh, he's on the phone. All right,
this has Cincy in the playoff, so I'll find a different one.
What?
But actually, with this, it'd be fun because this also has Michigan State versus Wake in the Peach, so they have Wake winning the ACC. But you get Sparty.
I was thinking, so even if Cincy loses once, they're still going to get the New Year's 6 invite, right? There's nobody. Maybe BYU would be the only contender, but they already have 2 losses. Houston, I guess, yeah. 11-1 Houston or 12-1 Houston could.
Well, Houston would have to beat them, right?
Dana would be another one, not nearly on the level of Cincinnati, but Dana would be another one.
Houston wouldn't be 2 losses, though, right?
Houston would have to be 12-1, I would think.
No, but I'm saying if there's no scenario where they would be 12-1 and Cincinnati would be 12-1, right?
I don't think so. Not at this point, no.
So unless
they beat 12-0 Cincinnati.
Oh, yeah, but I'm saying, Houston would then have 2 losses then. There's no scenario where they would both be 12-1, right?
I think so. Anyway. Oh, where do you want to go? Is he going to pull up the bowl? I'm going to pull up the bowl projections.
Who's our
I'll use the ESPN guys. At least they have 2.
All right. I was going to say, who's our Don Best of bowl projections?
Wait a minute. Do they have the bowl projections? ESPN, they're behind the paywall now?
I think everything's behind the paywall.
That's ridiculous. All right, longer delay here. Where's my ESPN Plus login? Okay, we're in.
What are you looking
Interesting. So they've got minimize.
Minimize. Andy, do you have any input on the Rutgers Penn State game?
Rutgers going to win.
Rutgers going to win, Andy says.
All right, screen one coming up.
Man in the arena. Are you watching?
So they both have, let me zoom here for the audience.
How are we supposed to see this?
I'm zooming.
Rutgers got momentum.
So they've got,
now Andy says.
both have Wake, obviously they just go by the ranking there. Michigan and Ole Miss.
Who the hell is Banagura?
But yeah, I think it's Kyle.
Kyle, yeah.
And then where do they have the Irish going?
Right there.
Cincy or Michigan? I mean, yeah, if you could get Michigan and Notre Dame.
Banagura's got a rematch.
Yeah, that's not great. I think if you can get Michigan and Notre Dame in a New Year's Six, that's
that'll be one of the top. That'll be maybe the most watched game outside of the playoff. Probably the most.
So I would think
the most watched game outside the playoff.
I'll watch it.
Okay, so
I would watch it as well.
I would watch it as well.
So one of the Slay botched had Cincinnati in the playoff. So Ole Miss would be the other potential. So it probably is going to be Cincinnati or Ole Miss.
Who does this have? So Pitt would with the Peach if they win the ACC.
Yeah, it looks like ACC champ is going to go to the Peach.
What is that? 30th at 7? Ooh. That's a good time slot. I like that. Rather than a 1 p.m. fiesta on New Year's Day. Just last time they were there, Jalon got hurt.
Jalon. The Packers, Jalon. Is he doing well on the Packers?
He was released.
He was released by the Packers too?
He was, yeah.
He's not on the team right now?
I believe he's a free agent, yes.
How did he fall from grace so badly?
I don't think he ever really recovered from that injury, frankly.
I guess not.
Frankly, don't call me frankly.
This would be good. I don't know how he's going to get West Virginia to 6 wins, but this would be a good one.
Ooh, will be good.
Daner Bowl.
Air Force has a big game this week. I think they got Nevada.
The Ass Force, oh yeah. Great 2002 season opener here. This is the first time I've looked at bowl projections to see. Oh, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. They've got the Gers bowling. The Guaranteed Rate Bowl. formerly the Insight.com bowl.
Right, so if they've got them bowling, that means they don't think Michigan State is bowling. Or not Michigan, Maryland, sorry, not Michigan State.
No, they did have Maryland up above.
They have both.
Well, Maryland, yeah, that is a miss, unless they're not going to be enough eligible teams, which they may talk about in the article. That's always a possibility that they'll get the APR
it is, yeah.
slot.
The APR slot. Andy, they've got Rutgers going to the Guaranteed Rate Bowl.
They'll be fired up. There's Penn State
unless
right
I guess they may have Penn State losing to Rutgers this week. And then
we got the cheese tit. Oh man, that would suck.
The cheese it ball.
The cheese tit. I would hate that. Both of those games.
When did the ACC get in that game?
Yeah, I don't know. Pac-12 for going, I guess. They'd seen enough after Cal. All right, that's enough bowl projections.
Pac-12. Oh my God! If Penn State played the Pitman in the Trans Perfect,
where was that?
Music.
Oh, there we go. Yeah,
the Trans Perfect, the Trans Perfect Music City Bowl.
Oh man, tough name. All right, that's enough. And we go back to this view. All right. My question was for you guys before A White disintegrated, looking for the bowl rankings. Does this line can't be assuming what it should be assuming in that
Strong
is playing, right? There's just no way.
This has to assume that he is 100% out.
This has to be, yes, he is.
So what I would ask, because at least Pitt is a top 25 team, are they foregoing the middle? Or do they think people don't realize Because this has got to go down to single digits for sure if he plays.
No, single digits.
Single digit spread, yeah, I would think so. I would think he's one of the top,
If
at least
Armstrong
statistically,
plays,
top 10 quarterbacks.
he, from what I watched of Armstrong versus what we watched last week of the Wolfsburg Wagon, he is worth the 4 and the 5 points here. Yes.
Yeah.
That was. I mean,
unless he had which I brought up, which is why I was setting
Collapsed
Google.
lung.
Yeah, I thought he might have had like
bad.
a collapsed lung.
I mean, yeah, I don't know how much you watched, but they didn't. They looked like a decent
I watched a
offense.
decent amount because I wanted to see what they had to offer,
They had a decent,
which was nothing.
a decent drive in that third quarter, I believe, where they missed the field goal.
Yeah.
That was aside from that was it.
Yeah.
That was bad. The O line just.
It's hard to really
mailed
cover
it
the
in.
game if he does. I mean, obviously, I'm a little bit torn. Want him to be healthy.
No, you want.
I don't want to be healthy this
No,
week.
you don't need
I don't
him
want
to
to be healthy this week.
You don't need him to be healthy.
I want him to be 100% on Sunday. How about that? But yeah, it's tough to even get too far into it.
I mean, he could have had the
Can
Clifford
we
game.
switch chairs? John DeLon checking back into. You have
John
to update us
DeLon.
on it. He's going to update us on the LSU search.
Yes, the LSU search down there.
We might be in a
Was
different
John DeLon,
order.
was John DeLon ahead of the curve? He was believing in Tennessee, right? That
Yeah, he was. He thought they were the
Ahead of
most
the curve.
overachieving team, which
Ahead
now
of
you
the
can't
curve.
possibly mount that. It's got to be Baylor, I think.
John DeLon ahead of the curve with Tennessee.
Yeah. Who knows for LSU, I presume. The other thing is, if Pitt does win, I hope that Narduzzi takes a page out of
Is he going to rest? You think he's going to rest?
against Syracuse because they're not going to get. His dumbass could be thinking, "Oh, if we get to 10-2, even if we lose the ACC championship, we could still get it like a New Year's Six bowl." There is no chance they're taking a 10-3 ACC team that lost to Miami, who's going to probably
Well,
finish
they'd
around
be a
500.
three. There'd be a three loss team at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not going to take a 10-3 team.
10-3.
They're not going to take that over some of the other options for a bevy of reasons. But he might be thinking that. He will have some
Well,
dumb.
I mean, no.
And Jordan Addison's going to roll an ankle or something, and I'm going to be ready to go to the south side and donkey kick him.
Well, that's the good thing about, or the bad thing about for the ACC this year.
It's a bad thing about idiot coaches.
No, is that their bowl game isn't in it this year. Like if the bowl game, if the Orange Bowl was sitting out there, oh, I guess no, never mind. Bad point.
Okay. Either way, I actually think I would take Virginia plus the 14.5, though.
John DeLon, you saw Tucker got that 10-year deal just now. Tucker's not going. He just got a $95 million deal.
And Arander, it's funny you say Arander because we say he is, based off the Tucker deal, Arander's pretty good now.
Yeah, Aranda's tougher, but at least he's been there already. That would be my pick. What about Joe Brady?
Brady could come back, yeah.
No, I think
A, your interest, and B, his interest.
I don't think.
I'm talking to him, Ken. I'd probably.
But I don't know. I'm not sure why you're so set on this 14.5.
They stink in most other areas.
They had 2 weeks to prepare for Notre Dame, knowing Armstrong wasn't playing.
Right,
Listen,
no Joe Brady.
it sounds like he had exactly what Clifford had. He had the 2 games to prepare for Illinois, was ass against Illinois, so maybe ass strong will be 100% now against Pitt, just like Clifford was 100% against Ohio State.
Like they've collapsed like an old barn. Like they got run out by BYU eventually. Wolford Wagon spanked them, and Carolina spanked them. So they can be spanked because they suck pretty much everywhere other than wide receiver and running back.
After what I watched against North Carolina, the Pitt football experience, I'm taking the 14.5. They may win.
You
by
have
14.
to though. Yeah, either
I'm
way,
taking the 14.5.
you cannot lay 14.5.
Yeah. Okay.
Joe Brady,
Joe
Brady.
Brady hates recruiting.
Okay, so yeah, I figured as much, but
Dan, are you on? You're on the plus 14. You're on the plus 14.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, AY. Obviously, we could even scratch this from the record if
that strong is in.
If the line goes back down, which it has to. There's no way they'd think, especially after Pitt's last couple of performances, last 3 performances. Miami lost, Duke vomit in the first half.
It was amazing.
And then North Carolina vomit in the second half. They haven't played a full game since Clemson, really, and even that was a slow burn to start. So
since that. Okay.
Virginia Tech, that was the most, but that was wind aided also.
That
was wind and injury aided. You could go back and pick apart every win.
That was D'Antonio aided.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. It's been ridiculous. Really the best one, and the defense didn't even play that great, was Georgia Tech. And we just talked about them a little bit ago. They're not great. Okay, what do we say? More LSU coaching search stuff.
Baton Rouge Sports Radio guys during the year. Great Baton Rouge. All you could talk about was couldn't wait to get back to the league.
That makes sense.
That makes sense.
It does make sense. Once you've been to the league, things are a lot
better. I don't know how these guys would want to go back. I totally get the recruiting and all that.
Oh, I would never. If I got to the league, I would never want to go back to getting in planes and going to some.
Unless you suck ass in the league like Spurrier and Saban did.
Yeah.
Then you go back to college.
Well, I feel like they're naturally moonshiners anyway.
Right.
They were much better for that. And rah moonshiners and rah is way more.
I don't know if Saban's a moonshiner.
Okay. Different delivery. Different
delivery of moonshine. Okay.
Yeah, different delivery, but
yeah,
exactly. We're all. I think we're all in agreement about that, John D.
We are, and I think we're all in agreement here too. I'll take the points as well.
Yeah, take them, and then I contemplated.
I love recruiting though, Dan.
Yeah, but you wouldn't like doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're all
maybe you would. Who knows?
We're all on the Zimas.
We're all on the Zima drinking weed
to cover, but I think Pitt wins regardless. I will say that. I think they.
Oh, Pitt's for sure.
Dan making the return trip to Charlotte.
I'm ready for it. I'm ready.
Are you crashing at Brian's?
No, I'm just gonna tell because my dad will be coming down. Potentially AY, my brother, uncle.
Yeah. Will you be tailgating? Will you be tailgating with Brian?
I mean, if Brian wants that, we could go to the TGI Fridays.
I did do some research, and it would be perfect for a halfway point. Stop at Andrews in Richmond.
That's true. Yeah. Andrews only like 3.5 from there.
Everything does align.
Pick them up.
We will have some. What time is this game Saturday?
It's usually 8:00. They usually have it as a late game.
So, last year it was midday.
No, I mean what time?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're right, Ken. I forgot about that.
Last year Notre Dame Clemson was midday.
I meant what time?
In other years, it's been.
Yeah.
What time is this pick game? 3:30. Okay.
8 p.m. There you go. 8 p.m.
Back to the 8 p.m. Why wasn't it like 4 last time?
I don't know. Why did they do that? I don't know. Maybe because of the Notre Dame fans, it's a little bit late to do it.
Yeah, it is a little later for the Notre Dame fans. It is a little later.
That is strange, though, because did they do the SEC at night? Or
no, SEC's always at like 4:30 or 5.
Yeah. Wonder what it was. Canelo fought that night, but I don't think that was driving it.
No.
SEC did play pretty late into the night. I don't remember the end of that game because a couple other.
Yeah.
So,
weird. Very weird. But yeah, we'll see what happens. But I think they get there. I would prefer that they rest guys against Syracuse if it gets to that point. Otherwise, you're going to go gangbusters, and then I wouldn't love it, but if they did need Virginia Tech to beat Virginia, 6-2.
Oh, man. Look at that last I'm dying at that last comment. No way. You can't believe that.
Gary Patterson. Come on, John.
That.
I think you're pulling our leg with that one. Come on.
John, come on. Come on.
Just because he probably could have had the job 3 other times.
I don't think that he is done coaching, though. I could see him come back as like a defensive coordinator somewhere.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll
Or
get the
goes to
Panthers.
San Diego State whenever LSU hires Brady Hoke.
Oh, that'd be good. Or maybe he'll bring French.
That's San Diego State this decade. Evidently, a great reroute.
Speaking of that,
He is a good coach at one point in time.
Have you seen what he's done the last 6 years?
6 years is harsh.
I mean, he had that.
They were good in
year where
2017.
Yeah, maybe 27. What was the 2017 year?
That was when they only lost to Oklahoma, I think, that year.
No,
Maybe one other game.
no, they haven't had a one-loss season.
No, they lost to him twice.
They played him in the Big 12 championship. I don't think so.
Yeah, that was the Kenny Hill.
Oh no, they lost.
They lost to Iowa State.
They
and
lost
then
to
Oklahoma.
Ohio State that year too. 2017.
No, that was
2018.
2018.
No, 2018.
Yeah, he is at one point in time in terms of Gary Patterson, but that'd be a pretty disappointing move. It would still be slightly upward tactically.
Which area are you talking about here? Dallas, Fort Worth? What does cost of living have to do with recruiting there?
You're stepping into the snake pit with Can here.
I don't understand. I don't understand that comment.
Yes, he just says yes.
I don't understand.
Should I send him
what
the
cost of
invite to
living has
debate?
to do-
On-air debate.
What are you talking about here? Moving recruits' families into town and giving them jobs? Is that what you're referring to? Who has to? The coach?
No, maybe he's talking about the players and families.
The players' families? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, must be.
I don't know. That whole area, you're 3 hours within multiple major cities. You're Dallas, Houston, Austin, San Antonio. I think there's plenty of places to live there and in between. The plenty of players there and in between that would go to Dallas. So I'm not sure what you're getting at with the cost of living in Dallas. Because they're not – the student athletes obviously aren't paying for that.
And he's 61. I mean, that's not the oldest, obviously, but
No. The one thing that I thought of when he got fired and his predecessor, Francione, what the hell ever happened to Francione after the debacle in Alabama?
he went to wasn't he at A&M?
No, he was at A&M before that.
He went. I know he was at Texas State.
Oh, that's right. He went to one of
These old guys just go away. Like Georgia O'Leary.
Non-coincidentally, usually the nice places.
I get that it's a bougie area. I don't understand how that affects recruiting.
El Paso, nice spot.
UTEP, yeah. UTSA still going strong. The Roadrunners.
They are.
Yeah, that would be good if he could go to. If he goes from, if that UTSA coach gets poached, and he goes to UTSA, that'd be.
I've heard he's pretty good. The UTSA coach I've heard is pretty good.
Yeah. Napier though, I think to put a bow on this, we're pushing up against 90 minutes once again, but I would say Napier probably would be who I'd go with at this point.
Like we said at the top, not the best crop of coaches here this year, and very interesting when added and thrown into the mixer with a number of higher profile jobs. Top of which is John DeLon's job down there in Baton Rouge.
Yep. Yeah, we'll have to do that. I mean, especially if Pitt wins. I mean, Irish will have – who do the Irish wrap up with next week?
Tree.
So that's a be easy. And then you have Michigan State, right, Ken?
Yes. If Penn State's able to jump on a hopefully downtrodden and disheartened Michigan State game, I'd like that a lot.
I think Penn State wins next week.
I can definitely see that as well.
And on a high note, 9-3?
Not 9-3. We've got
8-4. 8-4, sorry.
Yeah.
Win the bowl game, 9-4.
9-4. A regular Morelli year.
But yeah, maybe we can map that out since it's essentially the calm before the storm, right? There'll just be Ohio State, Michigan, and then what else? Really,
Penn State will be after that. What's that? What do you mean?
For next Saturday. I'm saying if Pitt wins, even if Pitt loses, I'm not going to have that much to say. AY's got the tree. You've got Michigan State, but it's still not going to be a long winter, I wouldn't think.
Yeah, John, you caught us at the tail end here. We've finished up all the picks.
No, John, I'm talking about Michigan. Oh yeah, we did do Michigan State, Ohio State. Yeah. We
To
have.
recap, we've all two of us have taken Val Tucker to cover here the 19. And
Nobody's picking Michigan State to win though. AY's got Ohio State.
Yeah. AY took Ohio State, correct.
But nobody's picking them to win outright. That's a tall task at this point with Ohio State. But yeah, we should map it out. Is anything else going to be coming open? Not likely, right? It's not going to get bigger than Virginia Tech,
unless it's Florida.
That's true. Yeah.
If they get blown out by the Seminoles in a rivalry game, that may happen.
Yep. I don't think that's going to happen though.
If it's bad against Florida State, it could, right?
I don't think Florida State. I mean, that was
Samford put 42 on them in a half. You're telling me that Florida State couldn't put some numbers on them?
We'll see. I guess that could be the ACC's marquee win of the season. Because right now, I'm pretty sure it's Pitt over Tennessee still.
I think Mullen is gone. Also, you think Mullen's gone this year, John Alon? Because I given the current competition and the lack of candidates or seemingly good candidates, I don't think that would be the smartest move from Florida. But they may not have a choice.
You think Mullen's
My
gone?
back is going to kill me tonight.
He's
I'm
gone.
stretching.
All right, I'm starting to get hungry here.
I'm starving. All right, who are you guys locks?
Oh yeah,
Oregon.
Dan is already on the Oregon lock. Oregon +3. I like that. That's a good pick. I think I will go back to the well
With Oklahoma.
with Oklahoma. I'll go with Oklahoma.
Strapping on a pair.
I think it's a good week.
It's like I'm martingale. I feel like I'm martingaling here,
Yeah.
and they got to wake up sometime, right?
I wouldn't go back twice like but Anus also looks good this week. I think they played Navy. Let's see here. I got it in there. Let's see what it was. -4.5 at Navy, I think they are. 3.5. 3.5 at Navy. Something to consider.
I read Navy. I heard Navy's won like 17 straight senior days with fans. Just saying.
That ends.
Ken N is not that good this year, though.
It ends. I think Wisconsin could be good play. Nebraska on the road. Martinez just not great. BYU under 20 at Georgia Southern. They should absolutely stop them.
That'd be a Kalani special.
The UCLA USC line's weird. Jackson Short starting. No Drake London. 3.5.
I like UCLA. That's talking about where those two are at. We didn't pick
that's
that game.
weird. But yeah, we'll circle back and to mention what you mentioned earlier. Take Smoo.
Deep breath.
I could see. You know what I would love to see if Chip does pulls a freaking Shaka Smart, and gets out of town and goes
So like Virginia Tech.
No, that'd be hilarious if Chip pulls a freaking.
I don't want him in my division. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I still have fears of him, even though I probably should at this point.
Since he's
let's go. Last one on this, John. Then come back next week.
If they go undefeated,
I'm not in favor by virtue of them looking like such ass the last couple of games.
if they get left out, I won't shed a tear.
Yeah, I don't think they should go, even if they are undefeated.
Make it all three.
Look better.
This would be a perfect year to have a 12-team playoff.
Mm-hmm.
Selfishly coming from Pitt being potentially able to make that.
I would love the Pitt Cincinnati Peach.
Yeah, give that as like the 6-11. Pitt and Cincinnati, the 6-11 game.
If they played in that Peach Bowl, and
I would be there. I would be on the 50-yard line, first row. If that
you drop a couple grand for that.
Exactly.
I
sure.
want to see this year Cincinnati beat Pitt in the Peach Bowl and hang a national title banner.
Oh, that'd be good. I think I'd concede for that. Actually, I would. I would concede. They would have to play the game. I would concede that.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to eat. I'll see you guys.
Yeah, the college football.
Thanks for listening.
It's not an elitist thing. I think it's just the grind, man. I really do.
Yeah, I agree. Especially the way they've looked. The
grind is not the same.
The grind is not the same, and they've won like by 8. They could have and should have probably at least been in a 2-point game against Tulsa. But yeah, Dan, did Utah? I feel like Utah should hang a national title banner for the 2004 season.
And 2008.
Yeah,
more deservingly so for the 2008 against.
Well, they beat the Bammer that year.
Yeah, yeah, but yeah, I think it's just that's what it. And I don't put as much stock into it as people, but I definitely recognize it as a thing. The environments too, right? That they play in versus what?
Yeah. The 40,000 seat stadium. Well, Dan, you play in 40,000 seat stadium, or not seat stadium, 40,000 filled stadium sometimes.
A lot of the times, yes.
Sometimes.
Almost all the time.
It's the number is 40,000. I don't know if it is there.
It's there.
Listen, the number this past weekend was 109 in State College, and it was definitely not at 109. I'll tell you that.
Okay, thank you, everyone.
All right. 96 minutes. Let's get there. 8, 7, 6.
Have a good weekend.
5,
Thanks for listening.
4,
Danberg
3,
to my west.
Click
1.
it.
Good night, all. Go Pitt. Go Pitt. Go
Thank
Pitt.
you.
I did the Sweet Caroline my brother's Alexia's dad, my brother's.
Alexia's dad enjoying.
He loves that. He would give me a hard time, but I used to stage a walkout during Sweet Caroline.
He's a Bostonite. He must be a Red Sox fan.
No, he loves it. He said, "Come on, you got to do it this time." All right, I'll do it. Only
Cut
for
it.
you.
Cut it.
Yep. Good night.